Hello, I'm Jennifer, and welcome to the Krewe of Japan podcast, a weekly podcast where we take you on audio journeys through Japanese culture.
This time on Krewe of Japan podcast.
Welcome back to our podcast. Today, we're going to discuss being a parent in Japan. Whether you are or will be living in Japan with your family, or if you plan to bring the kiddos along on your Japan trip, we want to make sure you have all the information you need to have a successful, fun, and as stress-free as possible time in Japan with your kids. We'll make sure to cover all the bases with our returning guest, Loretta of KemushiChan on YouTube. She has a lot to share on this topic, so we're all going to learn from this. We were able to discuss the concerns about raising children in Japan.
The biggest fear for me was that, what do I not know? Because you kind of grow up like in the States thinking, oh, well, in the States, like, obviously you'll think about, I don't know, whatever it is that people think about with kids, like the obvious things to be aware of. And I was like, I don't know what are the obvious things people think of? So like, I'll go up to people in Japan and say like, as a Japanese person, what are you anticipating? What are you thinking? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, so like, for example, if I go to the doctor, like, what do you normally ask?
Managing language with your children.
But she's definitely more Japanese leaning. And I did the math, and I think she's in school. This might be trouble to say out loud, but she's in school about 50 hours a week in Japanese, surrounded by people in Japanese at all time. And then at home, she speaks English probably for about 28 hours. So it's like her waking hours are almost double in Japanese than in English.
Traveling the country with your children.
I would say, and this kind of goes for everywhere, just like pack light. And if you have small kids, like just strap them to you. I've seen a lot of parents kind of struggling because the bullet trains are doing the same thing that airplanes are doing. They have plenty of space, but they're limiting the amount of storage space that you can use. And the information on that is not as readily available in English.
And so much more. Being a parent is already tough enough, but adding a new country into the mix of things can be daunting. We hope you will benefit from this episode, feeling comfortable with stepping into Japan with your children. Let's dive right in.
Thinking about finally learning Japanese, but worried you'll end up just mumbling arigato or konnichiwa forever? Don't worry, NewOrleansJapaneseLessons.com has you covered. Classes are led by Romi Sensei, a native Japanese speaker with over 20 years of teaching experience. She's been teaching online since before it was trendy. 2014, baby! Plus, her classes are super small, 6 people max, so you'll actually get to speak and get real feedback, not just sit there quietly wondering if you're butchering the word ramen. Romi Sensei's lived in New Orleans for over 15 years, and personal friends of mine have taken her classes. They seriously rave about how fun, clear, and downright awesome she is. Why keep telling yourself, I'll start learning next week in English, when you could just say it in Japanese and actually follow through with it at the same time? Check out NewOrleansJapaneseLessons.com, that's lessons with an S, and get started today. Are you new to the crew? Yokoso! We hope you enjoy this episode. If you like what you hear today, then you'll really love our back catalog of episodes from earlier this season and previous seasons. We've had some incredible guests, like YouTuber Loretta of KemushiChan helping prep for the JLPT, influencer Taryn of Manga Lila diving into shoujo anime and manga, travel expert and YouTuber Ryotaro Sakurai discovering Miyagi Prefecture, and so much more. After you finish up this episode, hit that subscribe button or follow or whatever it is, and get notified when new episodes come out. Then while you wait for the new episode to drop, play catch up with the crew. But before you do any of that, let's dive into today's episode.
All right, so we are back with another episode of Krewe Japan Podcast with Doug here to assist me.
Hello.
And, I didn't even think I would ever do a subject like this, but now that I have become a parent and have joined the club, Doug, I have decided that it is an important topic to discuss being a parent in Japan specifically, because you don't think it's going to be that different, but when I was contemplating bringing Reina to Japan when I had my job, it was very scary to even think about. So I am happy that we are able to discuss this today, and not only just you and I who are already parents, but joined by one of our past podcast interviewees, KemushiChan or Loretta.
Hi.
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome
Hello,
back.
hello. Thanks for having me. I'm excited for this topic.
I think you and I are like super like excited to just gush over everything about this
Get
topic.
ready.
I just want to say I was laughing at you being scared to bring one child to Japan.
I know.
And I bring two.
And you bring
every
two.
year.
I know. But I have like super bad anxiety.
It's like gladiator level.
Once they get to the point of using tablets and you could just give that to him on the plane, that's half the battle. That's half the battle right there.
I still have a bucket of squirrels.
Get some, what is it? Those melatonin gummies. And
Oh my
it's
gosh.
like a charm.
Oh my gosh. I need some of those.
I never done it until this past year. And that was, it was just, we had 2 layovers going over and it was
Oh wow.
a nightmare. And I didn't get much sleep the 2 nights before the flight.
Mhm.
I was going on like maybe 3 hours of sleep in 3 days. And I just couldn't. And he only wanted to deal with me. And I was like,
Come on.
I can't. And we got to Detroit and I stopped in one of those little like airport marts. And I was like, do you have melatonin? And they're like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bleep that out.
All of them right now.
Well, Loretta might need that advice for maybe whenever she visits like her family. And
I was about to say, like, I think we should definitely do a corner of like airline hacks, like a do 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 do. And now here's the top 5 airline hacks to survive.
Well, Loretta, for those of our listeners who didn't join us for the season that you were in for our last podcast episode, could you just briefly reintroduce yourself to our listeners?
Sure. Hi. Okay, so I'm Loretta, and on the internet, I use the handle name KemushiChan on YouTube, or on Instagram and other handles, I just go by KemushiJP. Not sure why, I just went a little crazy there. But yeah, it originally started as kind of like a nerdy corner on the internet where I just kind of like shared everything that made me tick or laugh about Japan or Japanese learning. And then after a while, it kind of evolved into just like, I don't know, full melee. But now the characters on my corner of the internet have increased, and it's gone from just me talking to a camera to me and sometimes my husband, and then now recently to sometimes me and the full gang, which is now 4. So 2 under 2. Oh, goodness. In Japan.
2v2. So much easier when it's
2v2.
2v1. But yeah. Oh.
Fight.
Now that we've kind of moved along slightly to that topic, can you tell us a little bit about your family life in Japan? Like, what does your family life look like? I mean, you just said you have 4 people in your family. So
Yeah.
I get that. Your partner and your kids, but how old are they? And like, are both of you guys full-time working parents? Like, what is your situation?
Yeah. Okay. So in a nutshell, we've got like the nuclear 4, and it's me and Boomer, and then we have a little girl who just turned 3, and a little boy who any second now is going to turn 2, which is insane.
Ooh, fun times.
The word in Japanese is toshigo, so they're like literally one after another. They feel like twins, basically, but they're just 2 little fast bundles, and both of us, it's a tomobataraki, a double working household, and so we both have full-time jobs. Sometimes it feels like 8 jobs. And then one of the things we did specifically, because we do live in Japan, we live in Tokyo specifically. I remember when we moved into this house, and the day we moved in was actually my due date, which was like madness. But we picked the spot we moved to specifically because we were like, okay, we need a spot with lots of space in case we want other help, just because kids are hard, living abroad can be hard. Living abroad with kids seems impossible. So we wanted the option to basically just have a full house at all times if necessary. So it's actually kind of like a Forrest Gump situation. Like I feel like our front door is always open, and there's always like some family member visiting or helping out, and of course, now I feel bad, we also have a dog. My original baby, we have a little Jack Russell Terrier.
Yes.
So it's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, today we will be focusing more on like the raising children in Japan part. But I'm sure actually giving birth to children in Japan is an experience all in itself. And I know I say that, and I'm about to ask you to briefly tell us about your experience giving birth in Japan, which I know is practically impossible because there's so much to deep dive into this in
Right?
itself. But like in your experience, how did you feel about the experience overall?
I will caveat by saying I've never had a baby outside of Japan. So I only know Japan experience.
Yes.
But I feel like I have to put like 5 caveats in. And then also, I feel like most people would assume this, but like physically giving birth, like putting a baby into the world is not necessarily like an inherently fun, pleasurable thing to do. I don't know what the word is here.
Agreed.
It's not?
1,000 times agree.
It's
As an observer, it seems very fun.
Oh,
shut up.
Oh no, it is a full contact, grueling sport. And I mean, like, I'm a competitive person, so there's some people out there just like, yeah, bring it on. And I definitely got into game mode. But that aside, inherently, it's not something that like you want to do. I would never say like, yeah, go to Japan and have a baby. That's not the tour I would recommend. But in general, with all that aside, and then, one more caveat. I had both babies during COVID, basically.
You did.
So during hardcore full-on COVID was the little girl who's now 3. And then since Japan was a little bit slow to end COVID, the second one also basically was right at the tail end of all the restrictions. So for both children, I had full hospital restrictions and there was no husband, there was no visitation. So what's different in Japan, like right off the bat, is that unlike the States, for example, you stay in the hospital for 7 days-ish, minimum, 6 or 7 days. So it was like a week of just me and the babies and just be like, what? So that was kind of like the first and foremost, very, very shocking. That caught me off guard. But other than that, I would think outside of COVID, the standard sort of procedure, the food was great. I will say the food was amazing. No, and honestly,
That's
the food
good.
was great. And the nursing staff, like the actual staff, were amazing. And I got pretty lucky with my doctors, I would say,
That's good.
from what I've heard. So
That is good. I didn't get so lucky with one of my nurses. I had to kick her out.
I mean, there were
Yeah.
definitely some points where I definitely was like, no, goodbye. In much different words.
Mhm. That's interesting, that experience, especially you having to do all this during COVID. I mean, that's rough.
I think also the part too that is such a different thing is like your husband wasn't there, right? So it was just you. Like
Yeah.
our second son was born in 2021, so still kind of in like pandemic world, right?
Oh gosh.
But I mean, we could go in and out of the hospital pretty easily. And
Yeah.
I think we had restricted number of people that could come in and out at certain times. But yeah, that's kind of crazy that you were by yourself. I mean, I get that's kind of the thing, but
Yeah. Well, so it was weird because it was like the first hospital was definitely, it was like a boutique clinic, more like. So you're supposed to have a private room, but the idea is supposed to be like your room with your family if you so choose, or like whatever. But it was just kind of like, hello. But it was like me and the nurse call button, like, hello. But I will say, like, just if it hasn't been said clearly enough, I'm obsessed with learning languages and speaking Japanese. And I think it was the most grateful moment in my life that I actually could speak Japanese, because it is hard enough to advocate for yourself in a medical situation, in a birthing situation, in any of those situations. And to do that in another language while a million things are going on, I was like, thank God I can tell these people to stop touching that. No, just kidding. But, I will definitely say, like, if anybody's thinking of, like, I definitely want to have a baby in Japan, or I will have a baby in Japan, I would say learn as much Japanese as you can ASAP. And, sidebar, maybe send me a message and I can tell you some really good words you might want to know that I don't know if I want to get into quite yet. It's like the blacklist. If you hear this word, just say no. Anyways, so yeah, did I answer the question?
No, and I mean, actually, yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was good.
If I had to pick a country based on what I heard, I think I would still do it in Japan. Not just because I
Okay.
live here. Like a 51% Japan.
Oh,
49% is there anywhere better?
It's a slight tip the scale to the Japan side, huh?
General question for the people out there. It's like, people have like, oh, you go to Turkey for hair, you go to, the Philippines for teeth or something like that. It's like, where do people go for babies? I guess they don't, because you're not supposed to fly, right?
Yeah, no, you're not supposed
It's
to.
true.
At a certain point, you're not supposed to.
I'm like, where are we all like, that's where you have a baby? Like, which country is that? But I did walk out of both hospitals for both kids with a refund. So like monetarily, that was like bomb level. I can't remember the second one, but like the first kid I walked out with basically like $300.
Nice.
They're like, you forgot you paid too much. Here's your money. I was like, oh,
Wow.
okay. Guess we're taking
That
a cab.
never
I'm just
happens
kidding.
in healthcare.
Yeah, never.
Well, I mean, thankfully, Japan's really big on making sure that people feel like they're being supported. So there's a lot of government, city level, national level. There's just a lot of buzz around like, what can we do to make people more enthusiastic about having babies? And without doxing myself, where I live specifically, I say like near the like East Tokyo area, where I live specifically is like famous for being baby friendly.
Okay.
So that's kind of also why we picked where we live, because it was like, I want every perk, every dime, every yen, mostly yen.
That's actually kind of a good segue into our next question for you.
Mm.
As a foreigner in Japan, like what were some of the concerns that you had about raising kids? Like you said, you picked out this area because it's kid friendly.
Yeah.
What were some of the concerns you had? And like, were a lot of them put to rest after you did some research and kind of found out some more information, maybe from friends who had kids or whoever it may have been?
I think it was like definitely like support system. Like, what is the support system? And I don't just mean like who's like taking care of you physically, like things in the city, what's available to you, or like what is the school situation if you're eventually putting, like, both of my kids are now in daycare. One of them is in like full-time daycare, like gone all day, sadly. And then the other one, since they're still young, is like full-time, but a little bit shortened hours. So it's a little bit less extreme. But like, Japan notoriously has like no daycares. So just the idea of like, where are they going to go to school if I'm supposed to keep a job?
Yeah.
And then it was awkward because of the COVID era. You get the idea like, oh, I really can do it all. Like I can be a mom, have a job, do that from home. And you start realizing you're signing up for too much. It's really easy to sign up for too much stuff. So finding out how, where, and who to ask to like offload some of that stuff was really hard, especially just because like another thing people say is it's hard to make friends in Japan. It's hard to make good friends. It's not hard to make mom friends. And it's very easy to say like, where are you going to school? Like the way I found my kid's school was literally like stalking other moms. Like, so where'd you take them to school today? Like I was just that weirdo who went up and asked them, because otherwise it was so hard to go through the websites of like the city or figure out like, is this actually information or what do I do? It's just overwhelming. So I found that actually thinking like, I will go to the city office and ask them for help. I will call and ask for help, or I will ask my friend to call, like actually go and get these resources. And then the biggest fear for me was that, what do I not know? Because you kind of grow up like in the States thinking, oh, well, in the States, like obviously you'll think about a car seat, or you'll think about, I don't know, whatever it is that people think about with kids, like the obvious things to be aware of. And I was like, I don't know if what are the obvious things people think of? So like I'll go up to people in Japan and say like, Nihonjin tekini ni, like as a Japanese person, what are you anticipating? What are you thinking? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, so like, for example, if I go to the doctor, like, what do you normally ask? What are the words you ask these doctors? What are the questions you ask? And they're like, oh, well, obviously we ask them, like, are they going to prepare the umbilical cord for us in a box? Or if it's going to be in like a cedar box? Or I was like, what? Like, they're just all these like, suddenly it's like, wait, let me take notes, because there are things that are obvious when you grow up in Japan. It's like, well, obviously I would know that a home helper is going to knock on my door 1 month after and see if we're doing okay. Or like, obviously they do a survey, like an exit survey when you leave any hospital for birth, and they give you like a psych eval basically. And I was like, well, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say that was great. I'm not going to recommend. I'm going to be like, that was terrible. And then I feel like I've talked about this on the internet, so this isn't too revealing, but like they basically came running in with like a team of nurses, and they're like, Mom, you're at risk. You need to check you out and take that baby. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, now what's going
you gotta
on?
watch out for that. It's like that in America too. Yeah, no, they ask you a questionnaire like on one of your few first doctor's visits, and they're like, here's this
Right?
test. I need you to answer these questions as honestly as possible. And I remember I was like kind of honest, but not
Right?
exactly. And the nurse was even like, okay, you just passed, but like by a smidge.
Right?
Okay, so if I would have answered one a certain way, that would have been like, get this person into the loony bin.
Right? No, they're like, it's like a double-edged sword because they're
It
like,
is.
oh,
It
well,
sucks.
we want you to be honest. I'm like, okay, I feel like this is the time where I should be honest. And then they
Right.
say like, but if you're too honest, we're going to take your kid. We're going to tell your neighborhood that you need to be watched. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Never mind. It was great. Let's just do it again tomorrow. But then I talked to other moms about it and they're like, well, obviously you just pick one answer to be mad about. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Okay. But then again, it's like, did somebody not tell me this beforehand or what? Okay. All right. Didn't know we were all tuned in.
I mean, there's so many things as a new parent that you don't know anyway, right? But then on top
Yeah.
of that, adding in like cultural differences from maybe things that you grew up with seeing in the US, right? Oh,
Mhm.
you've seen aunts or cousins or
Exactly.
family or friends going through childbirth, not actually going through childbirth, but going through the process, right? And you
Yeah, yeah.
see and you kind of know what to expect a little bit.
Mm.
But yeah, in another country, there's other just processes are different. The workflow is different.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
workflow is very different. And even like my husband Boomer, like he is constantly wondering like, am I supposed to show up at like the daycare events where they call in the parents? So like more times out of not, like most of the time be there with me. And then it's like an audit day where we just sit and like watch our kids and we all stand there like with our hands behind our back and smile and nod at each other. And it's all a bunch of moms and then there's like me and him. And they're like, two parents, huh? So then they asked like, so how's your job? Do you still employed? Do you still need
Oh.
daycare? Because it seems like you're both available. It's like, okay, now we gotta go into hiding, like pretend like we're not available. I was like, we just wanted to be supportive, but it's a lot of weird things where the mom's like, yeah, no, the dads don't usually come. And then the one time I was like, you should stay home. We're supposed to look like we're unavailable and we're just so busy working. And then I get home and I was like, there were so many dads there today. He's like, why didn't you tell me they're dads? Come on. There's like a mom group I got invited into for daycare, which I don't know about other people, but like the word mom group is still hard for me to put out of the mouth. But I was like, okay, I was in a mom group. And then, my husband was like, can I be in the group? I mean, this is like information about what they're doing with the kids and stuff, right? And I was like, I don't think you can.
Yeah, no, it's mom group.
Well, so then I sent out a message and I was like, oh, so this is my husband, by the way. He does speak Japanese. In case you're worried, he would be glad to participate. He does read and write and speak Japanese. They're like, oh, that's nice. Anyways. He was like, oh, okay.
Now we good.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So just the sort of, it's the implied or the sort of understood things
Yeah.
and things that you don't know that scare me the most because I don't want to step on feet. I don't want to get arrested. And I don't want to jeopardize my children's future. So I ask a lot of
Yeah.
awkward questions. I'm like, is this okay? Oh, okay.
That's good though. I feel like if you don't ask, then you just find yourself in these awkward situations anyway. So either be awkward
Yeah.
up front or awkward in real time when things are actually going down.
Right? I don't want to put out fires awkwardly. I'd rather awkwardly not have fires.
I mean, half the time
Yeah.
it'll be awkward when I ask, and it'll still be awkward later on anyway. But
But yeah, it's fun, and I am very happy that at least in like the parent community, not just mom community, but in the parent community, it's a lot easier to make friends. Like there's definitely a more warm area there. And sometimes I make jokes. It's like, oh, the worst person to be in Japan is somebody between the ages of like 22 and 65. Like you do not want to be a able young working person in Japan. That is like the worst version of it. It's you want to be a kid or like an old person getting perks. But down the middle, we're all just like, oh God, just like everyone seems to be in like a private vertical reinventing the pain wheel. I'm like, what is this? Except it seems that when in the parent group, there's an excused warmth. Everyone's just like, oh, you're a parent. It's okay. You good.
yeah, we got you.
This is even like on like the smallest scale, but like, if you're like a person walking around with a dog that they're like, oh, that's one of us. That's a cool person. Like even just biking around, I have a kid seat on the bike and there could be nobody in that seat, but because there's a kid seat on my bike, if I park it somewhere that's like not perfectly in the bike rack or like not perfect, whatever, because it's full or something, they're always like, oh, no, mom, it's okay. Mom, it's okay. It's okay, mom. Leave your bike there.
That's nice.
You're saying a life hack, if you move to Japan, is get a kid seat on the back of your bike so they treat you nice?
Well, it's like, yes. Like, you know how in the States, it's like the neon vest and the clipboard will get you into anywhere? I don't know if this is like good information to share, but like you can almost walk into any uninvited situation if you have a neon vest and a clipboard in the States, I feel like, and like a hard hat. In Japan, it's like if you have like a kid seat on your bike or like the mom bobble.
Yeah, you play the mom card.
And they're just like,
sounds
oh, she good.
Well, you said your kids, you've settled them into daycare. You've done all your obligations to figure it out.
I hope so.
Have your or Boomer's parents come to Japan to visit and help out? And
Yeah.
if so, how often do they come? Or was it just kind of towards the beginning, since that seems to be the toughest time?
We actually have been pretty lucky. We've had a rotating door full house since COVID opened. I think like the moment, in fact, before it was opened, this is specifically why I picked the visa that I'm on, by the way, is because you can like sponsor people who are not typically able to be in Japan. So I was able to get like preferential entry for our parents and first for my mom to bring her in first before like they really opened the borders.
Nice.
Which was another nice thing. So since then, and that was about 6 months after our daughter, the first kid, since then it's been like constant in a good way, like grandparents.
Yeah, you're lucky that they're able to like just fly over, because like I know for a fact if I were to live in Japan, there's no way my mom and dad would go on a flight.
I mean, I'm really lucky. My parents are travelers and Boomer's parents are travelers, but it's
That's good.
I definitely know I've had some friends be like, oh, my parents, like, it's a no. Like those flights are brutal and they're getting brutaler. It's like the seats are actually, it's like the end of the world last, like the walls are closing in.
The seats in front of you get closer and closer and narrower, and they charge you more and more.
If you just sit on like a Boeing long enough, you'll just slowly become crushed.
I'm one of those people, like when I lived there for 4 years, I didn't have a single family member that visited while I was there for 4 years. I had a couple friends that came and stayed and, visited and whatnot, but no family. My sister traveled a little bit during that, but she was also doing some stuff in Europe at the time.
Yeah.
So, she was kind of had her hands full.
I always say like, we'll meet in the middle. Like if it's between the States and Japan, we'll meet in Hawaii, but that's not really in the middle.
No, it's actually about the same distance from LA, time-wise.
All of our family is basically East Coast. So it's like, that's just
definitely not the middle.
We should just meet in like Europe, because you just go over the top, right? Just right over the top. I'm pretty sure it does.
That's awesome that you have had a flow of people visiting and supporting. And when they come and visit, do they stay for an extended period of time, or is it just?
Yeah, it's usually like a minimum of a month or so. So somewhere between like 1 and max level 3 or so. And, and then we travel and it's really great. And we kind of get to, I was at the point right before the babies where I was starting to get almost not jaded with Japan, but I was definitely starting to like get in my routine, and it didn't look like the fun version of Japan. It was like the working person's version of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know, this isn't what I remember Japan being like. And then as soon as like, the family started visiting or we started showing our kids Japan, I was like, oh, let's just jump right in.
Once you can actually do things with kids, right? When they're like one, you can't really do much. I mean, you can do stuff.
Oh, we did a lot. Oh, we went full like caravan. I think the first, maybe she was 4 months old, but it was somewhere between like 4 or 5 or 6 months old, our first baby. We took her on the bullet train and immediately put her in a hot spring. We had like an inflatable bed next to the rock bath, like throwing her in with some half Luki water, some half hot spring water. That's like one of the great things about Japan. Like we started traveling with both kids, with her around 6 months. And then with our youngest, we started traveling with him, I want to say, oh gosh, when he was like 2 months old, 2 or 3 months old. They need to make a frequent flyer card for the bullet train, because I think he had been to Kyoto like 3 times before he was like 3 months old. I was like, must be nice. Bankrolled. No, just
Before they get really mobile is probably when, you could travel a lot with that. But once they start getting into that 12-month plus range until about 3, why even stop at 3? Keep going a little bit. But they start to get a little wild, a little harder to travel with, I feel
A
like.
little
But
wriggly.
yeah, I don't want to sit still.
I think because we started traveling so soon that they're used to, like, we get on the train, we do not wriggle. I mean, obviously they wriggle, but like they don't like
Yeah.
run down the Shinkansen car or something like that. Like they're very excited. What they do is play with the shade. It's like shade up, shade down, shade up, shade down, shade up, shade down. It's like, okay, sorry everybody. But yeah, I mean, I love Japan for many reasons, but the kid friendliness of it is definitely like next level for me. Just being able to go anywhere. And like I went to a restaurant that was in the middle of Ginza in like late night a couple days ago. Oh, for Father's Day. That's what it was. Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Thank you.
And and I was like, oh, they're totally gonna hate that we're here. And like literally the every server had like a box of origami, a box of lollipops. Like they're all like, welcome kids. Do you want us to take the kids? Like, okay, this is great.
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, that's very different from the US.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You get a little color and sheet or some crayons.
I don't know, but like when we went back to the States a couple times, I felt like people were giving us, like we took them to New York, Manhattan, we were just walking around, we took them all over the place, and I felt like people were staring at us like, why are you outside with your child?
That's exactly how I feel.
It's like they should be at school or in their homes, but why are they seen or heard? And I was like,
Yep, that's how I feel. That's my anxiety kicking in now.
And then and then when our parents would visit, we always would have to say, like, if we went to a restaurant, like, oh, they're crying, don't worry, like I'll calm them down. I was like, it's fine. We take our kids to the movies and they're like babies. I was like, it's fine. Everyone's used to babies here. So I don't know. But I will say one of the funniest things, like the whole car seat and whatever, we just have this one stroller that's just been around the world and back again. It has like half a wheel and like 2 spokes and like a gum wad holding it together. And we took it into the grocery store and we started to get weird looks again. I was like, what's wrong? And my mom was like, why are you walking to the grocery store with this stroller? Again, I was like, how else are we going to move the baby? She's like, in your car seat that clicks into the grocery cart. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like we would straight up just stroll down the street, like in the suburbs. And my mom was like, you should probably drive. I was like, why? The baby needs a walk. We should just walk to the store. She's like, what are you doing?
That's kind of like the next kind of question I had for you. It's like kind of about just like how you approach things from like a mindset wise. Obviously, you guys have been living in Japan for a while.
Yeah.
You're used to living in Japan, that Japanese lifestyle. You see other parents kind of doing things certain ways, and you kind of, like you said, you kind of mimic and, you stalk them. And
Oh, yeah.
But do you find yourself doing a lot of that? Like kind of adopting like Japanese standards of practice. I can't think of the right words. I'm like in work mode still, but
workflow.
Well, no, yeah. It sounds like she's throwing her mom some curveballs here and there.
Right.
For example, like the stroller thing versus the car seat into the shopping cart.
Or like sleeping on the floor. Like we have a bed, but like we'll sleep on the floor a lot. Or like things that are like absolute no-nos in the States that are like kind of normal here. Like I'm trying to think of one, like what is it, like co-sleeping
in general?
Yeah, co-sleeping in general.
Yeah, is a no-no in America.
The idea of me taking the baby and like putting it, I mean, to each their own, but putting the baby in like another room and them sleeping alone in that other room is just so like, I can't even actually imagine how you would get that done. And like I feel like you just hold them down until they, well, this is why they say you don't come sleep, but like you just smother them until they sleep. No, no, not at all. But it's like just things like that where it's, or like the baby carriers. Everyone uses baby carriers, but like I feel like baby wearing is very common here, or like backwards baby wearing. So I'm like full like papoose crouching across the street like at like a 90-degree angle. Or there are other things that are just like the formula is different. Some of the sort of brand name formula can be cubes. So like you drop a cube in the bottle and like shake it with hot water, and then it's like instant formula. And then one of my friends is like, where's the scoop? And how's it sanitary? And it's just like, no, you just grab and go. Cube, water, go.
Honestly, the cube probably seems a lot more convenient, and powder gets everywhere.
I love that cube. It's like the perfect little, it's like a Pez of formula, like a mega Pez that just gets you, it allows you to travel and allows you to move. It's expensive, but it's nice.
Yeah.
And there's something about the kids that I'm blanking. Here comes mom brain.
Is it
Here
the
comes
weaning, the food weaning or something like that?
the
What's it
food's
called?
definitely. I've been told that it's bizarre that I like cook everything, or like I've been like, wow, you cook your baby food. It's like, mm. Actually don't know what the other alternative is because like the media or the materials are like, this is how you feed your baby. And they're like, everybody has the same blender, everybody has the same whatever. And it's not like a cool trend or something. It's just like, that's how you make food. Like there is no, like there are kind of like baby food jars, but it's like a bajillion dollars for something that you could just make from what you already have in your fridge. So like I remember my mom being like, wow, like you actually made like applesauce. And I was like, that it's just applesauce.
Yeah.
Things like that. Or like if you look at just the way media looks in Japanese is different from the way it looks in English. So like if you look on Japanese Instagram, like a baby food recipe will always include like here's like the way you cut it and here's like the raw ingredients and here's where you get it in the store and there's nothing in a package, not because it's cool to do it that way, but just because that's how it's done.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of interesting. And then it was hard because then we were back in the States. So, my kids like, where's the rice? It's like, oh gosh, we're running to H Mart. We got to get some sort of sticky rice because we did find that, what was it? I think Target had like little microwave cups and that became like a lifesaver.
There you go.
Okay.
We were like, where are the rice balls? Like, well, there are no rice balls. We're not going to make it. Being able to go to the convenience and just grab like a rice ball is standard fare success.
Yeah.
Like meals done.
And I may be jumping ahead with foods and stuff, but like, do you do a lot of rice-based or fish-based foods for your kids, or do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we did was we tried to match because like the school was pretty involved with kids, especially with our second. We tried to match what the schools were doing so that they could be consistent with food and also like with their schedules and then also with their language. So like with their food, for example, we would stick with tofu and fish because we didn't want them to be like, I don't like that, but also because we found that they liked it better anyways because it was softer. So I would try to give them, I was like, I hear dinosaur-shaped nuggies are really cool. And then it was just like a bleh because soft tofu is so much softer and I don't think they're used to like chewing. And I was like, okay, well,
Right.
Here comes the Japanese simmered dish. And just like other things, like we would match the schedules of the school, but we would also match like language. A lot of people say you definitely shouldn't speak Japanese at home if you can speak English, if you want them to be bilingual. So you should only speak English at home. And then we found that as toddlers do, they weren't listening or they weren't responding to what we were trying to get them to like play along with. So we would have to say like, okay, they only know the word for potty in Japanese, or they only know the word for like, let me share this in Japanese. So like we're trying to reintroduce English, but like, for example, I didn't even know like there are all these code words that Japanese kids know, but like if you want them to play along with other kids or you want them to share something, you just say, irete, and then the other kid will go, yo. It's like a red rover of like, can I join? Yeah, sure. But that's like the code word of like, okay, now we play, or like now we'll share. But if you don't say that, then they're just like, no, like for the longest time. So like there are certain things that we just had to kind of keep in line with what's done locally, just so that there's no screaming.
I mean, that's kind of similar. Like a lot of schools do the same thing here. They say, hey, here's a vocabulary list of things we're going to say at school.
Yeah.
So you can use it at home. One, reinforce what you're doing at school, but also it allows your life to be a little bit easier because it gives them the same structure,
Right?
basically all
those
day.
patterns coming. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very, very similar. I've heard the irete and the iyo thing. Yeah, I've heard that before.
First time I heard that, I was like, what? Is that the that's like the secret password? It's like, oh, okay. So this is a game changer for us.
I have a question. Do your kids have a favorite food?
Ooh, right now, my daughter's favorite food is a salted rice ball, sometimes with salmon in it, but just a salted rice ball. And my son, he is about to be 2. His favorite food is miso soup, specifically soft tofu. And if he can, he'll like suck down all the soup and just like go to ham on the tofu. Loves tofu.
Yeah.
That's good.
Tofu's good.
Cuties. Very
Just wait till they get into the ampamam potato.
Oh gosh, I saw it as a curse. No, we can't. But like, funny story, we were at the pediatrician doing normal stuff, and the doctor, because our son, he runs a bit on the heavier side. He's very American size. And he right now, even though he's about to turn 2, the doctor says that according to the chart, and it's in the back of the baby book that you get, the vital records that you carry around everywhere that has Chansey and Pikachu on the front. it shows that he's tracking about an average weight of a Japanese 3-year-old and an average height of a Japanese 2.5-year-old. This was at his 1.5-year-old appointment. So he's like doubling down. And the doctor, he's a great doctor, but every now and then he'll say just something a little bit funny. And he's like, so like, you like hamburgers yet? And it was like, you did not just shame the babe. It's like, no, he likes tofu and broccoli and whitefish. So suck it. And he was like, no, I was just asking.
So how many times did you go to McDonald's this week?
I was like, I hear what you're asking, and that's the 3-year-old. Okay, not the 2. I was just kidding. It was funny stuff, but yeah. I just, in case anybody's wondering, I feel like I like touched on a subject. Some people wonder about like if doctors are big on weight shaming or whatever, like throughout the whole process, the pregnancy and the babies. I got really lucky. I didn't see a lot of that in any hospital. So that's nice. I just like to put out some good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Some good vibe.
Good.
There are nice doctors out there.
I mean, I feel like for babies, at least in America, they don't seem to be too concerned about weight. At least
mine was
I haven't gotten anything about it.
My baby was a meatball. Like he came rolling out. I was like, oh gosh, he's huge. Oh, and he's still huge, but I love it. He's like, you never have to worry about him. You can just kind of sit him down and he will not fall over. We had to strap like a backpack to our first baby. It was like a padded backpack that looks like a bee with little wings. And then there's like a circle behind the head. So if they fall over backwards, they just like roly-poly in their heads. Okay.
Oh, cute.
It's really cute.
Actually, did you show that on like one of your videos?
Probably.
That sounds so familiar. I think I watched it. Never mind.
It's like the cutest thing. And then we put it on like our son and he was like, what's the problem, Mom? You think I can't sit down on my own? It's like, oh, okay. In that voice, exactly.
I got this, Mom.
Well, you touched on this topic a little bit, and that's the language. So, like, how exactly are you managing language with your children?
I think we're about to see a major shift, but we have been more Japanese friendly than English at home, specifically because what we were just talking about, trying to match what the school was doing and keeping that normalcy and structure with them. But on paper, supposedly, we would say we speak English at home and they go to school and they speak Japanese. And my now 3-year-old, she would, with her language, I wanted to say, I don't know the right word for it, but I thought she was a little bit delayed onset with the whole speaking in any language. Like she didn't say mama until she was past 2 years old. Like my name was for about 2 years straight. I was like, oh gosh, this is hard. But, you know, right when she started sort of like a part-time daycare, and that's when she started speaking a little bit. And then when she started full Japanese daycare, like her language just took off in both languages. And we realized that she had just been squirreling away words and she suddenly like released them into the wild. But she's definitely more Japanese leaning. And I did the math and I think she's in school. This might be trouble to say out loud, but she's in school about 50 hours a week in Japanese, surrounded by people in Japanese, multiple people. Like she's in a room with like 20 speakers at all time. And then at home, she speaks English probably for about 28 hours when she's awake. So it's like her waking hours are almost double in Japanese than in English. So her Japanese is just like going crazy. And like we're now starting to say like, okay, you don't have to say, yeah, you can just say, no, thank you. You can just things like that. Or like she woke up and she was just saying her friends' names. She's like, mohitotsu de roboto no ashi. I was like, whoa, okay. I don't know what's going on or if that's a dream, but good morning. Hi. Which kind of, for me, for now, I'm like, oh, this kind of sucks because I feel like I was so excited. Like, oh, I got a little language buddy, somebody like speak Japanese with, and we can like talk like Furbies and just like talk all day long. Like she'll just be like my little Pikachu buddy who hangs out and we'll just speak Japanese. And that'll be so cool. My Japanese is going to get so cool. And then I realized like, oh no, I need to bring the English. So yeah. I am now an English teacher.
That's definitely changed since our first episode with you. You know, we were talking about Japanese.
I've got a new job. So that was interesting. And then our son, just because he was really verbal to begin with, he's been speaking since, I don't know, I want to say like 6 months. And he just like speaks both pretty happily. So we just kind of have to field what they're saying.
Well, that's like the second child, I feel like absorbs a lot differently
Yeah.
than the first. Like we had with my oldest,
Mm.
very similar to your situation, in that we thought that there was a language delay or something because he was behind in like, the metrics that doctors say, oh, is he saying this many words at this age yet? No. Oh,
You're like,
shoot.
no.
Uh-oh. And then
No.
our doctor actually told us like, hey, maybe lay off the Japanese for a little bit and only focus on English.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did. He actually, his Japanese is like way, at that point was not, we used it a bit, but we kind of tapered off and he kind of lost whatever maybe language he kind of gotten at that point. And granted, he was still pretty young. So it's not like he couldn't get it back. And right now it's way better than, I would expect it to be.
You're so flexible.
It sucked because we were trying to do that whole like, hey, let's try to give it, because, he's getting English everywhere else except at home. Might as well try.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of one of those things we really wanted to focus on, and we had to step back. And now our second child, we use Japanese way more frequently from the get-go and didn't really let up. And we also put a lot of like Japanese TV shows on in the background when he's a baby, just to kind of have that sound saturation, I guess. I don't know, background noise.
Yeah.
But he's way further along than his older brother was.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Are you going to do the whole like send them away for the summer, or you go for the summer to America?
My mom says we are.
Yeah.
No, well, I think we definitely are going to we're going to try and carve out time, not the full summer, but yeah, I mean, I'm from Virginia, and it's like Virginia, New York, and Michigan are like our three. That's our tri-state area.
Yeah.
But most of those areas are pretty language friendly, but Virginia specifically has like really great immersion programs. I have a couple of friends who've even left Japan specifically so that they can get their kids in the American school system, but still in Japanese, so that they're kind of like fed into the college system and all of that, which is like another question. It's like, what are you going to do? Well, thanks.
Right.
Yep. Gotta talk to more
Just the
people.
beginning.
Looks like.
I was like, oh yeah. So, I mean, that was, yeah.
Yeah. I guess the weird thing with that immersion thing is that the timing of the school system is like, in Japanese school system, end of July, July, 16th, 17th, 20th, whatever, is when things kind of wrap up here.
Yeah.
And then you go to the US and it's like, all right, well, you're kind of in the back end of summer vacation, about to start. Well, actually, I guess it depends. In New Orleans, school system starts really early.
Yeah.
Like beginning of August for public school.
Oh, wow.
But I know in other places, it's like after Labor Day. So
I'll just have to
depends.
make an exchange program just like that. I'm just going to have to boom, make it happen. So
there's camps and stuff that you could put them in if they really wanted to do that. It's really an interesting thing, because our kids started to do that with going to Japan, and that's actually where they are right now.
Yeah.
They go for about 2 months, and then my son goes into public school. He's in 3rd grade right now doing that, and his Japanese like skyrockets. Like in that 1 month I'm gone, usually by the time I get back, I'm like, wow. Okay.
Where do I get some of that?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like an open tap of language
can you
or
help me? And then our 3-year-old is in a yochien, or no, kindergarten, whatever. Kindergarten. Yochien. But he's doing like a little program too. So he's kind of going through that whole like the like that thing. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I think pretty much from there, they send videos and stuff of like class, But yeah, it's really a good thing to do. And finding that balance is so hard, because when they get older, you know what they're going to do? They're going to talk to each other in Japanese.
Oh, that's already, okay. So the babies, our babies, they speak to each other in Japanese. I mean, it's like, stop it.
Yeah, no, with language, it's such itself, you can have a long ass podcast episode about just how to raise a bilingual child, because I don't know. I want to know, like,
someone tell us
what's the right way to do it, because I don't know if anyone really knows.
Hopefully they're sponges and they just pick up things.
Yeah.
I don't live in Japan. Reina's never been in Japan before. She has no friends that are Japanese, but the host family that I stayed with recently in Japan, they bought Reina a toy phone for like Disney princesses. And so now Reina's first Japanese word is daisuki.
Love
I'm
it.
like, what a perfect first word.
Gotta start somewhere.
It's the gateway word. Oh, how fun. I will say it's nice that I've found Japan is a lot more English friendly, or English using, than it used to be. That used to be
Yeah.
like a meme, like, oh, nobody speaks English anymore. And it's like, yeah, if they're over the age of 20. But like the Gen Zers and alphas and whatever they are now, like they definitely speak a lot more English and they're more confident to do it too. Like even if their
Yeah, they
English isn't that
are.
great, but they're like, a kid ran up to me out of nowhere. He's like, I'm a chatterbox. I was like, oh, hi. Okay. Wow. I was not
Nice
expecting that
introduction.
at all. I know. I was like, yes, you are. Love it. But, that's also kind of cool because I have the feeling that it's not like English isn't going to be gate kept to international schools. Like she'll be able to find, or both kids will be able to find a lot of language resources, even here locally, I think. It's also funny though, because a lot of people will go up to her and say like, how old are you? What's your name? And she's like, I've never answered that in English because we don't go up to her and say like, how old are you? What's your name?
Right.
Like
Right.
that's how strangers talk to you. So she talks to strangers in Japanese and she's like, Sansai? Fun stuff.
So I do have another question for you,
Bring it.
because I, as a visiting parent that brings
Mm-mm.
children to Japan and they stay there and I leave and then I come back and watch their language grow. But when you have your kids and you're going out and doing something fun, what do you do? What places do you go? Now, not just like tourist attractions and like, Tokyo Disney. I mean, and yeah, you could take your kids to Tokyo Disney, but like what is like, on a Tuesday afternoon after school's over or a
Yeah.
Saturday? Like,
Yeah.
where are you taking your kids and what kind of activities do you do to kind of keep them entertained?
Like there's obviously, like you were saying, there's more of like the top line sort of attraction places. Like a lot of people know in Tokyo places like Asobono. They're like mega Chuck E. Cheese on
Yeah.
steroids for kids. Like people will know kind of like those brand name places. But I found myself Googling the word like asobiba, like play space, but they're not like play spaces. They're like corners in the mall that are padded with a gate and like a
Yeah.
lot of kids.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like sometimes we'll shuttle out to Chiba and like there are places where like let's go to like Joyful Honda and there's a Ferris wheel and like a dinosaur that's spitting out kid games. Like, I found that a lot of grocery stores, not grocery stores, but like Itoyokado, which is the 7-Eleven's parent grocery store version thing. Like a lot of these sort of multi-tiered grocery stores have a lot of kid play areas in them. They almost
Yeah.
all do. So like your Parkos, your Maruis, anything that's like 6 levels or higher usually has something in it. And some of them are cooler than others. Like I have one that's really campy, like it's all wooden and kids can like play with marbles. It's like tick, 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 and like make cool sounds and you can like woodwork and like that's like one end or whatever. Sometimes even like in aquarium, like aquariums are very cool. Not the zoos, but the aquariums because they're indoors. They're, they have AC and there's, like obviously it's just visually, it's like going to DMM lab with like the cool lights, but it's actually
Yeah.
with creatures, however you feel about that. But they usually have like play corners where you can touch the fish or like the sea cucumbers and they're like, oh, it's yucky. And you're like, yeah, it is. Touch it again. But like just things like that, like aquariums are huge. And I mean, I just kind of like let them go wild. Like we'll just like go to a bookstore or we'll go to a grocery store and just kind of like let them roam. There's also places like Jidokan, which is literally, it's like the kid hall, which is the Japanese equivalent of like a library, but specifically for play. So that's like
Oh,
a
okay.
weekday thing. And they're completely free. They're run by the city. But this is like, instead of having kids in the States, like you might go to your friend's house or you might go to like after school programs, something like that. But like since a lot of kids are more like latchkey, they're kind of on their own more often. They know that the Jidokan is a place where you can gather. Like that's where you go with your friends. Like you can go to the park, but like you can also go to Jidokan and they'll have like adults that are kind of hands off, but there's programming and they have usually great snacks. They'll have like watermelon and it's just like free. It's like going to the library, but you're allowed to scream and the kids just play basketball inside or like things like that.
Well, that's great. One of the I can't remember which department store it is, but in my wife's hometown, they have a 5-story department store thing with Muji in the bottom, and then just kind of
That's how you know. Like, it's like almost Google Muji and then just go upstairs. That's how you know we're there.
Yeah, and I didn't even know it was there until like she told me. She's like, "Hey, can you you want to go out with our youngest?" And I said, "Sure, I'll take him out." And then she said, "You can go here." And then I brought him there. I'm like, "Oh wow, this is cool!" Like it's like you pay 300 yen, 400
Yeah.
yen, and you just go in. They kind of just go play with little trains on a train track, or play with
You're
like
like, oh,
blocks or
this is great.
cars or whatever. Yeah, it is really cool, and they have different age targeted stuff. So it's not just for babies. It could be for 3-4 year olds. It's not
Right?
limited.
Yeah.
So
There
that's
are
really, really
apps
neat.
for it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there are apps for like where are the family friendly bathrooms, and the answer is everywhere. You don't need an app for that. But
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah.
it's like an app for where like the like breastfeeding pods, and there are apps for like where are the play spaces.
Huh.
I wish I knew it off the top of my head. It's something like Mama something, like Mama Cole or Mama Ba, or something like that. What about Papa? But anyways, so they're definitely apps. And then there are other things, like sometimes we'll just take them for bike rides, or like we'll go to a lot of bike rides. Like there's my favorite, we have bikes, but my favorite bike rental service, Hello Cycling, this is not sponsored. They just started launching like baby friendly bikes. They have like the kid seat on the back. So legally, I'm surprised they're able to get that done. But like there are a lot of places in central Tokyo, for example, where you can like just rent a kid seat bike for like an hour or whatever, and just bike around. And
Oh,
and
cool.
they're electric too, so you don't have to pedal as hard. That's always nice.
Oh, that's great.
That's a lot of good suggestions.
Yeah. So, I mean, and a lot of things like that's stuff that people who are visiting Japan,
Yeah,
you could be anywhere. You don't have to be in Tokyo for that. Like to find a
yeah,
Yokubenimaru or
yeah,
Ito-Yokado or whatever,
yeah.
like they're all over. So
They're
you could
everywhere.
find, if you go
Yeah,
to a big
they
city.
are. I mean, I remember I was doing research for Kyoto because that's where I usually station myself at,
Mm.
and I did what you did. I Googled, SOB, like
A Sobi bar or something,
playrooms.
right?
Yeah. And I got 3 good ones that I
Mm.
remembered about now. And like one of them was, like you said, it's a library for children, but it definitely doesn't give like library vibes because like there's like an indoor playground in
They're
it. And
screaming.
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I love it.
Well, speaking of traveling with kids and like bringing
Mm.
them around in Japan, and we kind of talked about it about like the Shinkansen, and you already took your kids outside of Tokyo. Do you have any travel advice for parents bringing their kids to Japan? Like, what would you give for like advice?
Expect it to be basically free if they're under the age of 6, 7 in most cases. If your kids are a little like more American size or non-Japanese size, they may be like, your kid needs to pay for that. Like entry fees to places is one thing, but like the trains generally should be free. You should be able to just kind of walk in with them and just kind of get on with them. I would say, and this kind of goes for everywhere, just like pack light. And if you have small kids, like just strap them to you. I've seen a lot of parents kind of struggling because the bullet trains are doing the same thing that airplanes are doing. They have plenty of space, but they're limiting the amount of storage space that you can use. And the information on that is not as readily available in English. So, like the big area where you used to just be able to like chuck your big rolly bag, you can't really do that. And the same now goes for strollers. So, if your stroller, for example, if you have a little kid, if your stroller doesn't really break down to like a really small overhead level, then you're not really going to have a place to put it. And like I've had a time where a lady on the bullet train was like, whose stroller is this? You cannot leave it in the back without a reservation. I was like, really?
Wow.
Seriously? And she's like,
What?
and then she came up, she's like, you're going to have to pay for a place to store your stroller. I was like, really? And then after she started, like, she, blasted that to everybody. And then she came over and she's like, I'm just going to leave it back there, but you can't do that. Okay, bye. So like, like they have to say it supposedly. And this is the Tokaido line, the one that goes west from Tokyo towards like all the kind of major golden route stops, Kyoto, Nagoya, Osaka. That's the one that's really getting budget cutted right now. So they're the ones where they're like, you can't do that. But like going north, and airplanes are great. If you ride like a domestic airplane, like if you take a JAL flight to Okinawa or something, they'll give your kids like an uber amount of stuff, like crayons and toys and whatever. So,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy, I think.
Okay.
Stroller thing is really, I think, is the biggest thing because I think a lot of people travel with, especially when you're traveling from the US to Japan and you're
Yeah.
navigating an airport. I mean, we do this. We bring one of those sit and stand strollers where it has like a
Yeah.
younger kid's seat in the front and then like a little bench seat behind it for our older kid.
I love that. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great when traveling to Japan. But once you're in Japan,
Then you gotta break it down.
it is the most inconvenient thing in the world. Like, fortunately, our mother-in-law is picking us up from the airport or riding the bus so we can kind of stick it underneath the bus. But I mean, it's also just very big and bulky.
Yeah.
And it's hard to kind of navigate anything
Yeah.
outside the airport. Like, you're really struggling.
I would also definitely say like do not be shy to use Kuroneko, the black cat service for delivery of stuff. And it seems intimidating, but it's really not. And it's actually really nice. Like if you can, you should just like ship as much stuff as you can like get away with. And if you can, I don't know, like it would be great if you could Russian doll out like just your day's worth and just next day ship, I don't know, your stroller or wherever it is to like your next hotel or something, just because you really don't want a stroller on the train. People on trains are not that nice with strollers on the train, and there's just not enough space. The airport lines in Tokyo specifically, the airport lines are really, really crowded, and it's almost impossible to get on with a stroller. So if you can, I would just avoid that situation. And just even with little kids, like they say there's priority seating, but you're gonna have to like really like, run for it. But
Yeah, I would say like we've never done the train with kids from
mm,
the airport to Tokyo or anything. We usually are busing or getting picked up. So
yeah,
yeah, I can't imagine doing that with a stroller. That's
it's
nuts.
it's not like a lot of people will say like, oh well, we'll take like the Narita Express straight to Shinagawa, which is like kind of closer to central Tokyo or like wherever, and then we'll switch to a local line. It's like, oh, you will never be able to, like, you're just gonna stand on the platform wondering when rush hour ends. So be careful of
Yeah.
that. I definitely recommend the Crudo Neko service. And then there's another thing I was going to say about travel. This is important. It'll come back.
Well, while you're thinking about that, we're going to get to one of our last questions.
Uh-oh.
What has been your highlight of raising your children in
Mm.
Japan? And then maybe what is one of the things that was been toughest? If you only had to pick one of each, what would you say?
If I say it fast, can I say multiple things? I'm just going to say it.
Just go for it.
Free, safe, fun is my highlight of kids in Japan. So much stuff is free, like their healthcare. Like you probably shouldn't do this, but like there's sometimes they get prescribed like great skin cream, and I'm like, get an extra tube for me, just like because it's free. And especially coming from the States, just being able to be like, oh, they're up at 3 a.m. and they're screaming, and then pulling out my phone like a beacon in the night and just booking an appointment for like 5 hours from then, and then just walking them in, and they walk out for free with everything they need, and then just go on with their day. Like just that being streamlined is really nice.
Yeah.
Or just letting them walk around, or you're not supposed to, but like there are times at the parks where if I have both kids and it's just me and one of them wants to go down the big slide, but the other one wants to stay on the swings, I'm like, I'm being screamed at from both ends. You're not supposed to leave them behind, but I'm going to let the other one go up the slide by themselves and stay here by the swing. And like all the other moms will like, we got you. Like they will literally like, like corral and like hold your baby's hand and like whatever. So, that's really nice. The lowest unrecommended side of kids in Japan is not being one. No, just kidding. No, I wish I could be a kid in Japan. It seems really fun. No, nothing yet comes to mind.
That's good. Yeah.
It's really nice.
That exit survey for the hospital. How about that?
Honestly, I was like, the birth is the worst, but I've been trying not to. I'm really trying not to trauma dump.
Well, that's good that everything's been going so smoothly raising your kids in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard people say kind of weird offhand comments, or there have been like moments where like things are a little bit awkward, but like we take everything with a bit of humor and a grain of salt. And it's just like if somebody says something stupid, that would happen anywhere. Like we good.
Yeah.
There's just so much good to outweigh the weird. And there's not that much weird.
Sometimes.
Yeah, so it's all good.
Yeah.
I would close off this episode myself, but you could probably hear in the background. I have a screaming baby in the background.
Oh no.
Can you hear it?
No.
Really? You can't?
Now I can.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
It's the rain.
Hey, doctor.
Oh, yeah, no, she's freaking out.
Uh-oh.
So, Doug, I'm going to let you take over while I silence myself.
All right. Well, in that case, before we wrap everything up, we wanted to give you an opportunity to just kind of, again, we mentioned earlier, like where people can find you, your YouTube channel, your Instagram, or anything else that, any other projects you have coming up. The floor is yours.
My Instagram is the most like live thing at all times, it seems like. But the YouTube business, hopefully by the time everyone's listening to this, that YouTube should be alive and running with a lot of interesting facts. I have a lot of funny stories about this topic and similar topics and completely different topics, just lifestyle kind of hack stuff. Yeah. So my YouTube, KemushiChan, and my Instagram, KemushiJP, is where you can hear a lot more funny, quirky stories about life unpacked in Japan. And then, yeah, I hope to see more people on the big screen pretty soon as well, and in some other channels, but more on that soon.
Oh, big screen. Watch out.
Well, lots of fun. But I want to do more podcasts. This is fun. I've been thinking, like, should I start a podcast? Or should I just, like, invade yours all the time?
I mean,
hey, we're more than happy to have you.
Come
as
hang
many
out.
times you want to come on, however many times you want to hang out.
Let's hang.
we do a lot of travel episodes, and we're always
We
looking for
do.
guests. So
Oh.
tap in.
I'll think.
Or other topics. It doesn't have to be travel related. It could be anything.
Yeah, we cover literally everything. We don't leave any stone unturned.
Uh-oh, trouble.
We'll stay in touch.
Roger.
But thank you so much for coming on again. We always enjoy having our guests come back.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. And I will say that if anybody does have any questions, deep, dirty, gritty questions, don't hesitate to ask. I do like to talk to people in Trauma Dump offline. So
I thought you were going to say, don't ask.
no, definitely ask. We are all in the club now. And
yes, how authentic it is.
yeah, so let's...
Crew of parenting in Japan.
Crew of parenting, yes. Well, thank you again for joining us. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of
This
fun.
was a blast. Thanks for having me.
And that's it for this week's episode. Thank you, our listeners, for listening in and joining us for this episode. We hope you now feel comfortable with bringing your children to Japan, whether it's just for a visit or for a big move. Every family situation is different, but maybe this has eased some of those worries you had initially. A big thank you to Loretta of KemushiChan for coming onto the podcast once again to share her experiences. Have you been to Japan with children before? How was your experience? Share your story with us on social media. We're on Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, X. Just search for Crew of Japan Podcast. That's KREWEOFJAPAN Podcast. Or maybe you want to reach out to us directly. Send us an email at crewofjapanpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this episode, do us a favor. Subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, or drop a review on your favorite podcast platform. Every single one of those 5-star ratings or reviews helps others interested in Japan and this kind of content find the podcast. Or hey, maybe just let a friend know about us. Any and all support is incredibly appreciated. That's it for today. Until next time.
Looking to start your own podcast and don't know what platform to use? Tell me about it. When we started the Crew of Japan podcast, we tried a bunch of the big name recording platforms, but always came back to the one we're still currently using to this day, Zencastr. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. In addition to its high audio and video quality for podcast production, Zencastr provides a full suite of production tools to record, produce, and publish studio quality content from the comfort of your home. Just log in through your browser and start recording. It's that simple. For us, we simply send out links to our guests and they join the lobby. But before you know it, it's all done and you have your studio quality audio and up to 4K video right there ready for you, right when you finish. The best part is having their multi-layered backups to ensure that your recordings are in the highest quality, regardless of anyone's internet connection stability. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcasts in one place and distribute to all the major destinations. It's really that easy. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code CREWOFJAPAN, KREWEOFJAPAN, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all of our podcasting and content needs. It's your time to share your story.